All right. Welcome to the Rookies of the Year podcast, episode 2. Here with my guys, Josh and Rob. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs, a little bit of bold predictions, and then we're going to talk the hottest rookies in the MLB. We're going to kick things off with the obvious. Our guy, Jason Tatum, out for the year, out for the rest of the playoffs with an Achilles tear after really like a heavyweight matchup in that game. Going off, dropping 42 points. You got Brunson going off right there with him. Great game. Sad day for Boston fans. Sad day for big Jason Tatum fans like myself. But yeah, let's talk about it. Josh, you want to start?
Absolutely. So, I like you were saying, heavy hitter. We know what Jason Tatum brings to the table. His loss to the Boston Celtics is enormous. I mean, it was kind of looking like we were needing to eat crow in our predictions last week anyway. I mean, the Knicks were putting up a dogfight. Now it looks like with Jason Tatum out of the picture, now it's looking a little bit grim for the Celtics, in my opinion.
Rob, let me hear it from you, from my fellow C's fan.
I've never been more disappointed as a sports fan ever. I've watched I've watched all of my teams lose in the championship. I've seen horrible traits. This is this is rock bottom. I mean, we had a 14-point lead midway through the third quarter. Tatum's going absolutely crazy. Nobody can guard him. He's hitting step back three after step back three, off the dribble, contested. Doesn't matter. 42 points with 3 minutes left, and he goes down. I mean, as soon as he went down, we knew what it was. If you watch, if you watch basketball, you know what an Achilles tear looks like. So, I mean, as soon as that happened, season's over. It is what it is.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I've seen every time I see an Achilles injury, it's that same play. It's that like heel up, planting, going off, and then they just lose all strength in their leg, and you just know it's done after that. But this is gonna
I
bring
mean, there
some big
was
changes. Go
there
ahead.
was still the hope that maybe it was just a calf strain or something because we've seen that before. Remember
Too
last
good
year in
that's
the
not happening.
playoffs, Porzingis. Remember when Porzingis had that injury? It wasn't a calf strain, but it was like some rare injury. And the entire fan base, thought that he tore his Achilles. Turns out it was
Yeah.
something else. And then remember the same thing happened with Karl Anthony Towns. He had the calf strain. There was also, I don't remember if it was this season or last season, Luca had a calf strain too. And I instantly thought he tore his Achilles. So, we were still holding out hope that maybe he was going to be okay. But obviously, yesterday he got the horrible news. So,
I mean, good thing you got that surgery right away. Gonna make that full recovery, but changes are coming for the Celtics. This team is not gonna look the same next year. It's probably the
for
last
sure.
time we see this group ever together, championship group. Basically, I mean, they got the core as championship group, but where do we go from here? What do you guys think?
Personally,
Um,
I
Josh,
think you guys kind of hold out and wait to see kind of where Jason Tatum comes back.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, the Achilles, man, it takes a really long time to recover from. I know you guys have so much money on the books right now with your team. I think they've already expressed that they're looking to decrease that payroll. I think with this Tatum injury, I think they're going to look to do that with maybe one of your main guys and kind of retool for when Tatum returns. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like right now or when they're going to pull that trigger, but I do believe we're going to see a core change to the Boston Celtics by the time he returns.
yeah, so I think Al Horford probably retires. Had Tatum not gotten injured, Al Horford probably comes back,
For
try to
sure.
compete for another championship, but there's no point in him sticking around at this point. The Celtics are not going to contend next year. Um, if I had to guess, Drew Holiday, probably Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis needs to be the first one gone. I mean, he's given us absolutely nothing in the postseason, making over 30 million a year. He's only playing half of the games. And when he's been on the court, I mean, I know he has the illness and everything, which has been taking a lot out of him, but even before that, I mean, he wasn't looking that great this year.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I mean, he was really good last year when he helped us win a championship. For the 4 games that he played in the playoffs, he was really good. We never
Yeah, at
really
this
needed
point,
him.
he's not reliable.
He played 4 games. We could have won without him last year. We really don't need him. The team looks better with Al Horford in the starting lineup anyway, so I don't. But then again, he's going to be gone too, so there's that.
And Brad Stevens, we trust. We know he's
I know
gonna
Brad
bring
Stevens
us
is going to
back.
pull together some miracle. I mean, we're talking. This is the guy that traded Marcus Smart to get Porzingis and 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
you're
mean,
gonna send out
he's gonna pull something off.
Horford for
So
Allen?
was he? Come on, bro. He was good last year. He's not good this year. I mean, like, come on. 2 things can be true at once. We don't need him.
I'm with Josh though. I think we stick it out. We run it back with who we got on this team. We might pick up like one guy here or there, but definitely KP or Drew. One of them are going to be gone. There's just too much money we're paying them for not enough. I think it's going to be KP, even though we have Pritchard that would kind of fill in on that Drew spot if Drew left. I think, but honestly, Drew's going to give us the most trade value. But KP's got to go for
All I'm
sure.
thinking, keep D White. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my one objective. Just keep
Is he
Derek.
our second best player?
Derek White has to stay.
I think so. I think so.
He might not be our second best player, but he's our second most important player
Say maybe not every night,
for
but
sure.
when he needs to be, I think he is.
He's always consistent. Can always rely
Definitely.
on him. All right, let's talk about the series. Like you said, Josh, this is not what we expected.
No.
Games 1 and 2, you got the Knicks making 20-point comebacks both games, and then game 3, the Celtics they came how we thought they were. They played a good game. They blew them out. Then we have game 4, which is that dogfight that we're talking about. And now the Knicks are up 3-1 on one game away from an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, first time in over like 25 years almost. And do we think that they get it done tonight, or do we think the Celtics extend that series?
I think we're gonna win. I think the Celtics win tonight. Jaylen Brown, please show me something. You're making $300 million. Do not give us a repeat of that 2023 Game 7. But I think he's going to show up. He's going to have a big game. We're going to extend the series, and then we're probably going to lose in MSG on Friday.
Unfortunately.
But
Josh, what's your take?
don't rule out a 3-1 comeback.
I think the Knicks just put the nail in the coffin. I'm not sure. I mean, what Tatum had 42 before he went
Yep.
down the other night, and he's still.
We were still going to lose that game.
I I was a little worried about you guys losing that game. I was not confident. I think the Knicks can do it, man. They've shown throughout the entire process they're at least going to scrap their way to a victory. And I think without Jason Tatum leading you guys, I think it's going to be too easy.
We know how the city is with their sports teams in Boston. I think today they just rally behind the fans. The fans are going to be loud. I don't think it's going to be like dead. Even with losing our best player, it's going to be rocking there in TD Garden, and we're going to enjoy this probably last home game that we'll ever see of this team together. But I think they win tonight, and I think, yeah, like Rob said, they win in MSG on Friday. Wow. Unfortunately. What was some of your like big takes from the series that you saw that really put the Knicks ahead of the Celtics, or what the Celtics were shooting themselves in the foot doing? Rob, Josh?
Sorry, there was just a little break right there. Can you repeat that?
Oh, my bad. What was just
Repeat that,
something
bro.
that?
I'm sorry, that broke up.
Damn, we're going back and forth. Um, what'd you see in the series that kind of put the Knicks ahead of the Celtics, or what the Celtics were doing to shoot themselves in the foot that really put the Knicks ahead? What were we seeing?
Joe Mazzulla. That's what I've seen. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is a good coach. I've never liked his philosophy. Shooting 50 to 60 threes a game, yeah, it might work most of the time just because you have five guys on the court that can shoot, and then you're subbing them out for three more guys that can shoot. You're going to hit shots. But he never switches up his game plan. The whole you have a superstar, Jason Tatum, and you're going to go have him stand in a corner while Peyton Pritchard and Jalen Brown initiate the offense, it's disgusting. I don't understand it. It doesn't look good. Jalen Brown, he can't really run an offense, if we're being honest. He's a great one-on-one guy. He's a great individual scorer. Once he gets hot from three, he's unstoppable. But he's not really a guy that you're looking to lead an offense. I just think we should have been playing heliocentric Tatum ball from the beginning because that's what we needed. And
That
as the
magnet
series
ball.
went on, we kind of saw that because in Game 4, Tatum, I mean, he was doing everything on the court. He was the only one scoring. He was the main facilitator, and he's guarding 1 through 5, and he's grabbing 15 rebounds. Like somebody else has got to show up. And now he went down. So
Yeah, it hasn't even hit me yet. It probably won't hit me until the game tonight or even game one next year that we're not going to have him for full season, damn near. We're hoping and praying maybe we make a playoff push and he'll be able to show up for that. But yeah, this is a sad day. It's even sad just hopping on the pod and talking about this and having to give the Knicks their flowers. Josh, let me hear your take on the series.
I think more or less, like Rob's saying, that 3-point shooting's been hurting you guys. You live by a three, die by a three in this NBA. I mean, I've seen it with the Thunder plenty of times. Thunder have done it plenty of times. It's how they lost last postseason, and letting the three ball open. That and the fourth quarter comebacks, you guys down the stretch seems like everything's falling apart. I mean, we saw just for example that last Tatum possession in game 2 the other day. Just all of that looked discombobulated. Maybe like Rob said, that's partly Joe Mazzulla. Maybe that's execution on some of the players' parts. I'm not sure. That clutch time and those threes are killing you guys.
Yeah, I mean, when you're shooting 15 for 60 in a game, you're
Yeah.
not going to win it.
Can't. That
But
when go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when the Knicks are really locking in on defense like they have been those past few games, that it's going to be much more difficult, especially when OG and McCall are doing their things, and then all of a sudden in OT, McHale can go crazy and turn it up when they need to. So,
All right, let's touch on Gene. You see him in the chat. You know what he wants us to say, but it's clearly been Jokic been the best player in the playoffs. He wants us to say Brunson, but it's not.
I mean,
Brunson has been amazing. I'm not going to say Brunson just because his team is winning. He hasn't been the best player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw what Jokic did yesterday. Even though his team lost, nobody else showed up. We're going to get into that though. But I mean, he's solo carry in that team. I would go Giannis, but he only played 5 games, so you can't really go there. That's an absolute joke. Look at the numbers. That's pretty ironic, bro. There's no way you've looked at the numbers and you're saying that.
he probably has.
No, Jokic is the stat stuffer of the playoffs. He's winning in that regard for sure.
But I mean, I
Let's
think
talk.
that
You could knock Jokic's defense, but Jalen Brunson isn't really guarding anything either.
Josh, who's your best player of the playoffs?
I was going to say, I might be willing to back up Gene's
Deadbeat
take.
Edwards, I like that.
It might be Deadbeat Edwards.
You think Edwards? He just hasn't. It's been by committee. I feel like for Minnesota. I thought Ant-Man would turn up. I thought Ant-Man would go crazy, but it to me, I mean,
He's done things that hasn't been done since Jordan. Yeah, plenty of guys has. Jokic is doing things that have never been done.
yeah, I was gonna say that I think perfectly reasonable argument you can make for Jalen Brunson, but I'm still going Jokic. He's looking at the numbers, dude. He's ridiculous. Even with the swarming defense Oklahoma City's been playing,
That's facts, Gene. Julius Randle. Shout out Julius Randle. This is definitely the best playoff run so far of his career. I've
yeah.
always
Yeah, he
knocked
used to
him
be
for
a
being I've always knocked him for being a playoff dropper, especially when he was in New York. He always shit the bed in the playoffs. But he's shown up this year for sure.
honestly, I think McCall Bridges has been better than Jalen Brunson in this series. Those stretches in the fourth quarter to begin it, it's just been heartbreaking. Yesterday, the game the other day, he would not miss a shot, and then he's got 2 game-winning steals. You kind of got to give it up to him. But
I
their
don't
their
know.
whole
That's
their
crazy.
whole group their whole group has came together. McCall, you got Brunson, Josh Hart. That whole group has been playing very well, and then hopefully Indy stops them. I think that's a good lead into
It's a wild take, bro.
And that is a
McCall.
crazy. I mean, we gotta address that though, right?
I mean, Mikhail has been great. He's made some
He's
huge
been
plays. But
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
then again, I guess this is the logic. I guess this is the logic that the media was using last year when they said Jalen Brown was better than Tatum because he hit a clutch three and missed
Guys,
2 less
guys,
shots.
guys.
But
I
that,
love Mikal Bridges.
that's
Mikal Bridges this series, 14 points per game, 42% field goal percentage, 24% 3-point percentage. He's not doing much in the way of rebounding or assists. I mean, he's obviously playing stellar defense, but come on, let's be during those fourth quarter runs, first 2 games, that man Brunson was throwing the team on his back at some points. So
all right. I'll digress. I'll give it to Brunson. I don't
let's
want
give
to.
Brunson his flowers. That
I don't want to.
he's been stellar.
I hate
All right,
Jalen Brunson, but he's definitely
let,
been their best player. It's not even
let's move
arguable.
on. I'm tired of talking about this series. It's been hard to even think about it. I've been in my room. I've been eating Taco Bell. I've been darkness and just sadness. I don't even want to think about this series.
It's
All right, let's talk
depression.
Pacers. Pacers Cavs. This one's been kind of a roller coaster, and then the Pacers just started beating down on them.
Yeah.
Indiana wins the series. Game one, they come out sharp. Their offense has just been firepower. They don't have to rely on just Halliburton, but Halliburton has had his moments in this. Donovan Mitchell's been going off, and still it hasn't been enough. Pacers move on. They're going to their second straight Eastern Conference Finals, back-to-back years. We got to give Tyrese Halliburton his flowers. We got to give this Pacers team their flowers because they just play magnet ball, as we like to say, and that ball is just moving. The ball's hitting the net. You can't stop these guys. Give me your takes on this series.
I'm kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Not because I didn't think the Pacers were a good team, but after the season that the Cavaliers had to go out like that, it's wild. I mean, yeah, they were beat up, but even if they were healthy, I don't think the Cavs win this series. I mean, we saw it in game one. The writing was already on the wall. The Pacers just they move the ball too fast. Like you said, shots are always going up. Ball's always on the move. Tyrese Halliburton, and shout out Tyrese Halliburton because he was just voted most overrated player by the NBA players. And then he comes out and puts on this performance in the playoffs. It's impressive. And even on the defensive end, I feel like Tyrese has been really active, getting in the passing lanes and stuff. He's been really active with his hands. Like he's really given effort on both ends of the court, and it's showing. It's definitely helped his team. Pascal Siakam has been doing what they brought him in to do. Um, as for the Cavs side, I don't I don't know where they go from here. I mean, you win 64 games with this team after a disappointing end of the last season, and then it's the same result. You lose in 5 in the second round. Donovan Mitchell went insane. He averaged, I believe, 34 points, 6 rebounds in this series. But again, it's not enough.
Josh, let me hear it.
I disagree with Rob. I think that the injuries might have hampered Cleveland too much. I know Rob wasn't huge on Cleveland coming into the season and throughout the season, but man, no Garland. And when Garland is doing his thing, he's hard to stop and he's making that offense flow. And when he just allegedly can't even step down without pain, I mean, you're not going to see the same guy. Mobley, too. He's too important a piece for him, for at least me, to make a judgment on how that Cavaliers team would have done. Man, what a rough break for them. Just similar to you guys in the regard of Jason Tatum, like it is just horrible injury luck. You gotta give credit to the Pacers. Absolutely, they're locking down. They're making sure Donovan Mitchell doesn't will this team to a victory. I mean, the Cavs have the guys. They have, I think, the role players who could have stepped up and made this happen. But like we said, shout out to the Pacers. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. The entire team has been shooting the 40s, 50s, with the exception of Obi Toppin, have been shooting 40% or higher from three in this series. Like everybody is lights out. Everybody's contributing. Like Rob said, the ball's moving constantly. Tyrese has looked excellent. He's been making sure that offense is rolling, doing exactly what I was hoping he would do. So Pacers look great. Cavaliers, I think, just had a really rough break. Otherwise, I think this would have been an excellent series.
I'm going to touch on Gene's question right there with the Cavs early exit. I don't really think it's anybody to blame. I think they gave it their all, but I think it's more about the Pacers than it is the Cavs really choking. They were battled by injuries. Like you said, Josh, this Pacers team has just been lights out. You can't stop it. So if they're putting up 115, 120 points a game, I mean, give them their credit. You can't really take it away from them, and you can't really blame it on the Cavs. I think that Mitchell had the best, like one of the best series of his career, and that's a lot to say given him dropping 48, 43, like even with the bum ankle, he's still going out there dropping I don't know how many threes yesterday, but yeah, we got to give that Indiana team their credit. And what do we think that Cleveland does in the offseason? Where do you think they go from here?
I think they break it up.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe they run it back. I mean, really, they've had this core, the four core guys, Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen. This is the second year that they've run this core out, and
Hmm.
they were injured both times. So,
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
like, I don't. It's kind of hard to not run it back because you haven't actually seen what they can do while they're healthy, especially with Mobley and Garland still entering their primes. They're still getting better. If anything, I think maybe you move on from Jared Allen because obviously Mitchell and Mobley are untouchable. You're not going to move on from those guys.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't move on from Darius Garland yet either. Obviously, he has his defensive limitations, and he hasn't been the best in the playoffs so far in his career, but I think you got to keep him. He's too young. I think Jared Allen probably will be gone.
I think they definitely try and run it back. I don't see why you don't. I mean, they had a 64 win season this season. They looked dominant in most stretches of this season. Like we said, personnel's there. They made that late trade for DeAndre Hunter. I really like that. Karis LeVert's a great microwave scorer, but DeAndre Hunter absolutely provides good two-way ball. If they were to move on from anybody, like Rob said, I could see it being Garland or Allen. I feel like Garland might be pursued heavily by a few teams in this offseason, or at least see what Cleveland might be willing to budge for him, because there are definitely a few teams in my mind that could use a good point guard like Darius Garland just off the rip. Orlando Magic, and they've got no assets, but they've got some good young
First thing that
players.
came to mind.
But or maybe a something insane like a swap for Ja if Cleveland doesn't think Darius is going to be enough. I don't know. I think this Cleveland team is good. I think they've had the formula. It's just they got to be healthy, and we got to see it in action against the best teams in the league.
Their role players just did not show up this series. I couldn't tell you what Ty Jerome was doing before this series, but we were giving him his flowers, comparing him to Peyton Pritchard, and that's disrespectful to Peyton because that
Yeah,
guy just showed up and didn't do a damn thing when it mattered. Same thing,
It's
DeAndre Hunter. I couldn't tell you what he did this series either. We were talking about how deep this Cleveland team is and how that they were going to be able to match up with these other teams in the East, and they just folded. I don't think that they are going to run it back with the same squad. I mean, the core four, I think they'll stay, but they're going to switch out those role players. They can't keep relying on Max Strus going 0 for 7 or 0 for 8, whatever he did last night. They can't keep relying on that that help off the bench. They got to find somebody new.
Why couldn't Max Strus have that performance against the Celtics in 2023?
No,
Telling you,
they
it's that Heat Devil magic, bro.
it
That's
really is.
baloney.
All right,
Who has
Nuggets.
been worse? Who has been worse though in this series? Ty Jerome or DeAndre Hunter? Because they were both awful.
it's got to be Ty Jerome. DeAndre Hunter has been dealing with a thumb injury, and he's still shooting better than Ty Jerome has been, which is kind of his whole thing. Go Ty Jerome.
His
Yeah.
agent is pissed right now. His
I
agent
can't
thought he was
believe I
getting the
ever.
bag.
I can't believe I
He'll still
ever
get
put
some.
Ty Jerome's name in the same sentence as Peyton Pritchard. It's the ultimate disrespect. He'll never be Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, we got to cut that out of episode 1.
We're gonna go make some cuts. Go make that happen, Gene.
Donovan Mitchell, though, that guy had like I said, probably one of the best series of his career, and they still couldn't get it done. Poor Cleveland, man. Cleveland thought that this was their year.
I think they move off the double big lineup. I'm not a fan of the double big lineup. I would move on from Allen, make an upgrade on the wing, and just run Mobley at the 5.
You
Yeah,
just want Jared Miller.
What a
you gotta think
moron!
that Mobley and Garland are gonna improve, that they're gonna grow into themselves even more, and that's one of the reasons that they took this leap this year. So you gotta hope that they take an even better leap next year to kind of bring you over the top, which I could see it out of both of them. Both of them are all-star caliber guys. I mean, Mobley won a Defensive Player of the Year this year. What more can you ask from him? Indiana's locked
I
in,
say they
though.
mostly run it back. If you make any move, it's probably Jared Allen, but they're mostly probably going to run it back.
Yeah.
Now,
As
if
they
you go into next season, and say they just get injured again, even if they get injured or if they're healthy and they just fail, I think one more year of not making the conference finals and they're going to blow up this core, no matter what the reason is.
Yeah.
'Cause if they can't stay
Indiana,
healthy
though.
3 years in a row, they're never going to stay healthy.
Do we think Indiana makes it to the finals? Past the Knicks?
They'd have to play like they are the Knicks. They've been playing like dogs
Yeah.
against the Celtics, man. It's gonna be. I
I
think
think
it's gonna be
Indiana,
good.
the Knicks have been playing really good. I mean, but they might not be playing the Knicks, so we'll see.
That's
I think the
baloney.
problem
It
that
doesn't
we've
make
seen
sense.
or that Boston has had is just those scoring droughts, and I don't think Indiana's going to have those problems with them. They just got to be able to guard. That might be a big Brunson series, but if they guard, we might see Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA Finals dropping his nuts like he did again in Cleveland.
Dude, if Rick Carlisle is getting that offense with that personnel,
Yeah.
imagine what he could do with the Celtics, bro.
It's all Tyrese, man. It starts and ends with Tyrese.
Yeah.
We don't have a point guard like that can really free flow in the offense. All right, let's move on to your series. Josh, Nuggets, Thunder. Let's move it to the West. Thunder come out. They win yesterday, go up 3-2 in the series. Every game's kind of just been in like a different story. Denver had that big game one shot from Aaron Gordon where OKC just collapsed. And then
Yeah.
Oklahoma City came out in game two and just put it on them, almost put up 150, including 87 in the first half, which is a playoff record. But these
Yep.
two MVPs have been going at it. You got Jokic and Shea. Jokic dropped like 40 last night. Shea's dropping almost 30 yesterday. It's kind of been like a back and forth series. Yeah. Give me your take on this series, Josh. I'm excited to hear it from you. You guys are
Honest,
one win away.
yeah. Man, it's kind of giving me everything I've been wanting to see here. I mean, we had that collapse game one. That wasn't necessarily what I'd want to see from the Thunder, but that game winner from Aaron Gordon, that was electric. We second game two, like you said, Thunder come out and set a single half record. I mean, that's pretty exciting, at least to a Thunder fan like me. Then we just had the whole back and forth, like we've been talking about. The MVPs have been pretty good. They haven't been playing to their normal levels, at least in my opinion. I think I expected both of these guys to kind of ascend, and they've been right about their averages, shooting a little bit poorly, each of them. But I mean, you'd expect that in the playoffs. I think it's been a big series for all the role players on either team. Aaron Gordon has been playing exceptionally well. It feels like he cannot miss, and he's always making big plays. Jalen Williams had a humongous game the other night. He's been a little bit more inconsistent this series, but like what I've been seeing out of Chet, Caruso has had some big moments, as well as Dort last night with 3 straight threes. I think they've been excellent for the Thunder. I think it's been what Shea needed to succeed, at least go up 3-2. Nuggets, I'm still not counting them out, man. They got their backs on the wall, but they got dogs. They got Aaron Gordon playing out of his mind. They got Jamal Murray, who can go off at any point here, and of course Jokic. It sounds insane, but I've been waiting for like that Jokic game where he's just completely inevitable. I think the Thunder have been doing excellent, swarming him on defense, causing turnovers. It's kind of discombobulating that Jokic run offense.
Yeah, so I think we've seen pretty much what I've expected. I thought the Thunder were the better team coming into the series. So far, they've had a slight edge. Jokic has been probably the best player on the court. Jamal Murray has shown up. Aaron Gordon has more than shown up. He's been excellent. But they need more. I mean, especially with the depth that they've lost over the last couple of off seasons, they especially need more, especially from those guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has answered the call. Michael Porter
Mhm.
Jr., where the hell is this guy? Put out a bolo because he's been terrible. He's averaging 7 points in the series.
He's got that shoulder injury going on, but man, it's rough to see. This is a max guy. This is a max contract guy.
With Michael Porter, I mean, if he's not scoring, he's not really giving you much of anything. because he doesn't pass at all. I don't think he's a horrible defender, but he's not good by any means. So if he's not really scoring, what is he giving you? Nothing. And that's what he's giving them, nothing.
Something's
Jokic
wrong with
averaging
you.
30.
Really?
Go ahead.
Jokic averaging 30 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah, his percentages have been down, but that's kind of what you expect when you're playing against the number one defense in the league in the playoffs.
Not only are you not a very nice person, you're also a slob.
For sure.
Not only are
That
you not
Nuggets depth it's showing right now that they're not as deep as the Thunder are. The Thunder team is just more put together. But the series has been good. I've been enjoying watching this series, watching these two go at it. What do you expect
It's not
for the rest of the series? How do you see
pretty
it
much the
finishing?
same. Jokic is probably going to go off, and it's just going to be whether his teammates give him enough help or not. I don't expect them to. So the Thunder are probably going to win. It might be in 7, it might be in 6, but the Thunder are probably going to win the series. As
Aaron
long as
Gordon's one of the best role players of all time. He just fits that group. He's been playing his ass off this year
yeah,
in
Aaron
the
Gordon is
playoffs.
great. I mean, as for the Thunder, SGA I think has been brilliant. Other than his 3-point shot not falling,
I don't know, man. He's been
I mean,
great.
I mean, just in this series alone, he's averaging 28, 8, and 7, shooting 49% from the field,
His
22%
decision
from three.
is kind of what hurt us game 1 as well as game 3, if you ask me. Just down the stretch, he's been doing a lot of chucking and keeping the offense stagnant. And I think it was game 3 when he should have been just feeding J-Dub when he was just absolutely on fire. And he iced the game. And in OT too, we just came out looking lethargic. And I think it starts with him. I think he is brilliant, and I think he has been playing well. He could bring it all the time, where he could definitely defer at other times. And it's one of those things you learn as a young leader in the playoffs, but I'd like to see that growth from him from series to series here.
But I think what
I think
SGA is no, go ahead, Rob.
I think J-Dub has been pretty good overall. He just hasn't been scoring well.
He's had really good games and he's had really bad games scoring. So when he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's not.
Yeah, like you said, game 3 he went off. He had 32 points.
Unreal.
But overall in the series, he's averaging 19. He's averaging 19 points for the series, which isn't horrible. But he's shooting 36% from the field, 24% from 3.
Yeah, that
That's
first
not
game
what you want to see from your number 2 scoring option.
SGA's playmaking down the stretch, I think, is what's really been failing him. I think that the Nuggets have been able to throw bodies at him, and he hasn't been making those right decisions. And he's been kind of coughing that ball up, making bad decisions on his passes. And like you said, in that game 3, they just kind of came out stagnant in OT. They didn't really have any direction that they were going towards. But when he's on and he's scoring, he's obviously could be the best player in the NBA. But he's your point guard. You also have to have him initiating offense. You have to have him getting other guys going, which I thought was one thing that you guys did really good in the regular season. But now it's been a little bit more ISO ball here in the playoffs. But I thought yesterday he looked good. He looked poised. This team, that's really what I'm worried about, is if this team can handle the moment and if they don't get kind of too caught up in themselves and hurting themselves. But if they're poised, they're showing that they can beat these experienced teams like the Nuggets and whoever comes out of that Warriors and T-Wolves series. I think they'll beat as well.
I need Mark to be a little bit better too, I think, our head coach. But otherwise, I mean, shout out Case and Wallace, man. He's been stellar as well, especially on Jamal Murray. He's been electric, defense, offense, everything.
That Lou Dort explosion yesterday to bring you guys back in that game.
It was beautiful. I was screaming Lou.
Every time when I see that 3 and it's just like a rainbow 3, it's insane. And it's just silent for almost like a whole 2 seconds. And then the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah. I can never tell you if it's going to fall or clank out and shoot about 10 million yards down the court. But
That
When
OKC
Lou Dort
environment is legit
when Lou Dort starts hitting those threes, you know you're in trouble.
for sure. He's one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league.
At that point, the Thunder, when Lou Dort is knocking down that three, they're getting scoring from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
at that point, they're pretty much unbeatable.
But yeah, I don't disagree with Rob. I think the Thunder, unless they just absolutely collapse these last few games, I think they'll take it in 7. I do.
Think it's going 7?
I think it's going 7.
How about you, Rob?
I think it's going to end in 6. I think Jokic is going to have another 40-point game, and his teammates are going to let him down.
No, I think we get one more Jokic moment this series where he wills them to a win.
Russell Westbrook legacy game.
There's only so much he can do, man. I mean, you saw that shot he hit yesterday to tie the game.
Unreal.
It's just such a
Oh.
Jokic-esque shot.
He's
You got to
taking a
feel for
post-up
Lakers
floater
fans,
from the 3-point line at the top of the key. It's insane.
man. I actually feel for Lakers fans. That's what they went through in that conference finals. And he did that probably like 5 or 6 times to them in that one series.
Just feel bad for Anthony Davis. I don't care about the fans.
Yeah, I was saying, screw Laker fans.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
screw the
playing his
fans.
ass off.
But I mean,
Mhm.
that guy's
Made
he's literally unguardable. Like, there's nothing you can do. He's just chucking it at the rim. Like, I watch him play sometimes, and it's like, how is he even this good? He doesn't look like he's like that good at basketball. He's just throwing it up, and it's going in.
If
It's mind blowing.
if the Thunder, if they win this series, I think they are the clear favorite to win the NBA Finals, to win their first championship, and only them is going to be holding them back. I don't think that they'll really have too much of a tough time with what it looks like to be the Timberwolves or any of the teams out the East. But from right now, put your money on the Thunder to win it all because they're going to be like minus 300 after this series.
I'm going to go ahead
Yeah.
and say whoever wins this series, it could be Thunder or Nuggets. They're winning it all.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy of a statement.
No,
For sure.
I'd agree with that.
You'll stop the Knicks.
Yeah, just don't let New York win it all. That's all I care about.
With Cleveland out, and now, I mean, even if Boston somehow pulls off a miracle and comes back in this series, we still don't have Tatum. So Boston's pretty much done, and Cleveland's out. So at this
Yeah.
point, I feel like if OKC doesn't win, it's a huge failure. None of the teams left should be beating them.
If it's an Indiana OKC finals, just two small markets, I think that's good for the NBA.
That would be really fun. I don't want to see the Knicks.
I think that would be fun too. I think that would be a fun finals. For Thunder
OKC
fans.
would win in 5.
Yeah, for Thunder fans, man. Oh God. Unless that Indiana team comes out firing, that's going to be a butcher.
This would be Indiana's first finals appearance since early 2000s.
I couldn't tell you. Let me look that up.
I think they lost to one of those Lakers teams. I know they haven't won since.
The Knicks lose to the Pacers, which is understandable. That'd be 2 years in a row. It'd be pretty embarrassing. But
I know the Pacers have never won a championship. They've definitely
yeah,
been
you're
in
right. They lost to the Lakers in that 2000 year.
2000. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First
Gene,
time
you're
in
crazy.
25 years, potentially. The Pacers have been to the finals more recently than the New York Knicks.
I think if OKC wins it and you cement SGA as one of the new, like, just going off what Gene is saying here, if SGA wins a championship, he's obviously the best player in the league at this point, and you have your superstar for the next however many years he's in the NBA. I don't think it's a bad idea if they win. It's kind of like Cleveland when they had LeBron. I mean, obviously it's LeBron, but you have that star player that everybody knows is going to be contending.
Dean, you say two small markets would destroy the ratings. Yeah, I kind of agree, but whose fault is that? It's the NBA's fault because they don't market their teams.
yeah,
They
but
don't market their small teams at all. All they talk about is the Lakers and the Warriors and the Celtics and the Knicks. 4 teams. That's all they care
My
about. And now
slightly,
Wembenyama.
my slightly biased opinion, I think the NBA is better when Thunder basketball is good. So I think they should be promoting this team. Um, I think we're just coming back into another good. Yeah, the Lakers do always get help, but we'll get to that. I think there'll be plenty of time to talk about that nonsense. But um, you're right. I think it is a failure of the NBA to market their small market teams because there's absolutely teams. I mean, Portland should be. I mean, they're not great right now, but there have been times in the like throughout the 2000s where they should be throwing that team on a pedestal. The PDX area is huge, especially they love their basketball up there too. And that's just one off the top of my head. I'm not even a Trailblazer guy. Actually, I like to see them down the bottom of the standings here with Spurs coming back, Rockets coming back. It'll be interesting in the West, but I digress.
I don't understand how you could not have the Thunder on national TV like 30 times this season.
And no Christmas game.
It's
It's
it's not like
these
we didn't
teams.
it's not like we didn't know that they were good. They were the number 1 seed last year. SGA was already an MVP candidate, and then they go out and make moves to make the team better. Like how are you not trying to market this team?
Because they're
That's
winning every game
And
by
then you
double
see them in the
digits.
playoffs. They have probably the best playoff atmosphere in the NBA. Like how could you not? The NBA does a terrible job.
Yeah, that's our
What
point,
was that?
Gene. It should be healthy when all teams across the league are good. It shouldn't just be those four markets that are like we have some really talented teams out here, and they're just completely glossed over because, like you're saying, nobody cares that it's in Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma has a team, man. You're gonna want to see that team. I mean, we saw it throughout the 2010s with Russ and KD too. I mean, team can only be so good before you ignore it.
I like
Like
those small
the
markets because you have
NFL
those
has
real
no
fans.
problem.
You don't have those fair weather fans like Gene. I don't think Gene watched more than 10 Knicks games this whole year, but now he's sent me about 15 DMs of stupid shit that he saw in New York that he's just making sure that I get to see. So I like those OKC fans like Josh that actually watch their teams game in and game out. I don't care that Gene's old as fuck and he might have like a life, but fuck those Knicks
Well,
fans.
to surmise, shout out small market fans. We hold down the NBA.
Very nice
For
person.
sure
You're
you
also
guys
a
do.
slob.
Like you guys said, OKC has one of the best
Don't
playoff
fuck with me,
atmospheres in the whole
fellas!
entire NBA. All right. Let's move on to T Wolves and Warriors. It's kind of been sad. No Steph Curry. I mean, what's up with the NBA and all these injuries? Do we even need to be playing all these games all this damn time when your best players are getting hurt when it actually matters? So you got the Wolves probably close it out tonight. Do we all agree?
They got it
Is
right.
Curry playing?
I don't think so.
No, he's not coming back till Game 6. If there is one.
Yeah, they're done. That team is horrible without Steph. They
Hey,
can't score.
not great with him.
Like the
Defensively, they
offense is
they get better, but yeah, offense is awful.
even the defense has been spotty. I don't even think their defense has been that good. At least not on the Stars. I mean, Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are both going off.
For sure.
And then on top of that, the Warriors can't score. Like they can't get anything going on offense. It's really rough to see.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler gave them a big game the other night, but it didn't really matter. He's the only one scoring. And then in game 4, Jimmy really disappointed me. I know he's coming off the injury and everything with the tailbone, but you're down 2-1 in the series. No Steph. You pretty much have to win this game, and you're getting up 9 shot attempts. That's bad. I know he might be hurting, but if you're out there,
And a closeout
we're
game,
gonna
and
expect we're gonna
your
expect you.
s- your season's on the line. You shoot nine shots.
And
Ridiculous.
now their season's really on the line, so he has to step up tonight. If Jimmy doesn't score 40 tonight, they're probably done. Because I don't see where else they get the offense from. Maybe Pods has a big game. Maybe Buddy Hield has another game 7 type of game that he had against the Rockets. Like they need somebody to just give them a bit of a scoring punch tonight just to force a game 6. If they can force a game 6 and get Curry back, at that point I think they can definitely win the series. But I don't even think they're going to get to that point.
No, I don't think so either. It's been really about Ant kind of just showing up as a superstar. This man is just night in and night out. They can rely on him. What, he dropped 36 the other day, 28 in the second half in game 3. This team is, and they're kind of getting all around. It's kind of opening it up for Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle having the series of his life, like we touched on earlier. But Ant, I think he's looking for his lick back in the Western Conference Finals next year. So I think he's a man on a mission for sure. Josh, give me your take on this series.
I mean, I was riding Wolves from the get go.
That's fucked up.
It's fact though.
He paid his dues. He called it a day. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like I did
take
not.
that back.
I personally did not think the Warriors had it in them. Shout out Jonathan Kuminga. He's been a surprise for me this one. Buddy Hield has been a surprise too. I cannot lie. But Jonathan Kuminga, almost 20 points on 58% from the field, 50 from 3, giving you a little bit in the way of rebounding, but not much else. But my God, I think he's either finally played himself onto this team or has finally played himself off this roster, because I don't know how much you're familiar with the kind of young guy situation in Golden State, but Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, I think Wiseman too, all suffered from Steve Kerr. Maybe Wiseman was a little bit his own problem too, but man, these guys have the talent, I think, to be solid role players at the least, and he just had not been getting the consistent minutes. They've been benched at different points, and I think Jonathan Kuminga has been playing out of his mind, at least for his role this series. And Wiseman was pretty bad, but I don't know. I still think there could have been something there.
They really drafted him above Anthony Edwards.
That was insane. But they weren't drafting him no matter what, allegedly. Again, Steve Kerr told Anthony Edwards, we're not drafting you. You're not what we're looking for. You don't.
I think Wiseman
we got Klay Thompson.
Work hard enough. Yeah. He's like, we got Klay Thompson working hard over here, and you're not working like Klay Thompson. Oh, wait, he's not working like Klay Thompson? That's crazy. Kid out of high school or college. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's where the Warriors messed up.
Man, I was riding them. Excuse me. Shout out also Randall too. He's been stellar. He's been that 1B or second man, whatever you want to say, to Ant. 24 points per game. Good shooting percentages. Not too hot for 3, but he's been excellent. He's been giving it to Draymond, to that terrible center rotation Golden State has. So I think they wrap it up. I think that's the last we hear of Golden State, unless they make a big move this offseason.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where the Warriors messed up in that draft, when they drafted for fit instead of just going for the best talent. I mean, I'm pretty sure Anthony Edwards was off the board anyway because he went number 1. But then they took James Wiseman over LaMelo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but was there ever really a time we thought James Wiseman was going to be a better prospect than LaMelo Ball? Apparently the Warriors did. But I mean, even if they took LaMelo, there's a chance that he wouldn't be nearly as good as he is right now. Because like you said, what the Warriors have done with Kuminga and Moses Moody is just malpractice. It's disgusting. You have two guys that have shown
7 pick.
Maybe they wouldn't be stars, but they've definitely shown flashes. Jonathan Kuminga, I think, honestly, could be a star in this league.
Thank you, Wu-Tang, for that input.
like Javi was saying, Jonathan Kuminga has been going insane in this series.
Yeah.
He's averaging
Wu-Tang
19
knows what he's
points.
talking about.
He's been shooting the lights out.
All right, now I gotta see this.
But I mean, I don't understand how Kuminga gets benched late in the season. Like they
I mean, we've
they
been
just need
talking
to
about
cut.
the potential of Kuminga for years.
And
Ridiculous.
I really don't think that he's done anything worthy of being benched. I think Steve Kerr is just not a good coach. Like, what are you doing?
I think if you don't fit in that certain Warrior system, that he's just gonna exile you. Like you have to be
Well
able to
then cut
fit.
ties with him because they've had these guys for like 4 or 5 years. If you don't
Yeah.
think they fit, because they have value, they definitely have value. If you don't
Yeah.
think they fit, go flip them for something. You're just gonna let them rot on the bench. What the
Kuminga
Warriors
has
are
a
doing
ring.
makes
He
no
was on the
sense at all.
team that won the championship.
Yeah.
Kuminga has one. Sorry, Wu-Tang. I was calling you a ball knower until that. But Julius Randle, man, I think we got to give this guy his flowers. I mean, in the beginning of this year, nobody was talking about how good Julius Randle is or that he could fit in with this team and that he was kind of just sent off to Minnesota to die from the Knicks.
Yeah.
But triple double, 24, 12, and 10. I didn't know Julius had this in him in a playoff series. This guy has really stepped up to the plate. I think it's kind of now you look at that trade, it's not as big of a in the favor of the Knicks, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really proud of Randall being able to kind of make his name for himself here in Minnesota. They're really trying to change that team because I don't think Cat was doing well there anymore. He needed something new.
For what it's worth, I think the Timberwolves do win this series, but they probably win no more than one game in the conference finals. I don't think the team is actually that good. They're just benefiting from Curry being out.
Hmm.
A lot of these games have been close. Like the game the other night was close for much of the game, and then the Timberwolves went on a crazy run late in the third quarter, and it was pretty much over after that. But the Warriors are susceptible to things like that when Curry is not playing and you have no offense. Because you're only going to get so much from Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga.
Right.
Buddy Hield has given them good minutes, but Jack Harlow was doing nothing. Brandon Podziemski, he's been garbage. He needs to step up.
You guys got the same haircut. Do we think Ant
Disrespectful,
has a
bro.
chance?
That's really just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do we think Ant has it in it? Like you said, I mean, you said that they were only going to win one game, but I can see Ant coming back, showing up in the Western Conference Finals, giving OKC a chance, kind of getting his lick back from the year before. This guy's a real playoff riser. Do we think that they give what's been that matchup this year, Josh? Kind of tell me when you guys have played Minnesota
Uh,
how that has gone. Not
from
really
what I
familiar.
remember, pretty back and forth actually. Like you were saying, Ant Man kind of does this thing. If I remember correctly, Jaden McDaniels kind of always shows out too. He's like the new Andrew Wiggins for them. I think it's going to be rough for them for the reason of Randall. Randall's going to have to deal with that double big rotation because it's not always a lineup, but double big rotation of Chet and Hartenstein. That's something I don't think he's had to face this season. That's something I think he's going to have a tough time with. I think Chet and Hartenstein have been doing exceptionally well on Jokic this season, and when they get to Gobert and Randall, it's going to be light work in comparison to Jokic and Gordon, which they've had a tough time of guarding. It's been a good matchup.
Hmm.
But otherwise, we know the Wolves defense, they can hold it down. I think that's what it's going to end up being, is kind of a war of attrition. The Thunder that can hit their threes, I think we cruise through that series, but I think it's going to be somewhere in between what you guys are saying. I think the Wolves are going to give a little fight, but and the OKC playoff and experience could show up, but I do see OKC taking that into the finals. That's the matchup.
I mean, Minnesota's lost 2 games this whole playoff series or this whole playoffs, honestly. So we got to kind of give them their respect in this, and that they kind of belong.
There's no doubt about that.
They
They
played
do
anybody.
absolutely.
What'd
I
you
don't
say,
think
Rob?
they played anyone. I don't think they played anyone. The Lakers are not a good team. They have no big man at all. And now the Warriors without Steph, like, come on, bro. It's not a playoff team.
That might be to their advantage that they haven't played in these like tough series or
I mean, it could be in terms of like a rest factor. They should be more fresh than their opponents,
right.
but they haven't really faced adversity.
You're
And
right.
like Josh was saying, Julius Randle, I think Julius Randle, he might still have a good series, but he's probably not going to be as good against the Thunder's double big lineup as he is now, playing against the Warriors, whose tallest player is like most of the time Draymond Green at 6'6".
Yeah.
Either
Maybe
that or they
Kevon
put
Looney.
Trace Jackson Davis out there. Yeah, spots where they put Trace Jackson Davis out there or Quentin Post or Kevon Looney. You haven't seen much of Kevon Looney, honestly.
We're
This
getting
will
a
be
little
a
bit.
big that'll be a big Hartenstein series, what he does with Gobert. See how that's basically why they brought Hartenstein in there to be able to attack those big bigs in the West, so and stop guys like Jokic but they have a little double big lineup themselves. Julius is their power forward. He's going to bring Chet out to the 3-point line, and they're gonna do their thing for sure.
I think they're just gonna. I don't think they're gonna have enough offense. I
Rob's
think their
not sold
defense.
on them.
Nas Reed. Be looking to Nas Reed for a huge series.
They
Go
don't have
ahead,
enough
Rob.
offense, bro. I mean, look at the percent. Look at the percentages that they've been getting from like Nikhil Alexander Walker, Jaden McDaniels, Nas Reed. They've all been shooting the lights out.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards have both been amazing. And I still feel like they've been in dogfights with a team that is not good.
Obviously, I think OKC will do their thing, but I think the Wolves will fight. They're not going to just get walked over. All right,
Anthony Edwards will put up a fight, but they're just
let's
not
let,
good enough.
let's talk about Adam Silver and his deal with Nico Harrison. How do you think that was at the coffee shop? You think who do you think bought the coffee? You think Adam Silver bought the coffee for Nico and was like, "Don't worry, we're going to give you the first overall pick. Thank you for giving Luka to the Lakers. We're going to give you everything you want. We're going to give you Cooper Flag, the third generation of white superstar here in the Mavericks." So, yeah, let's talk about it.
Should I? I guess I'll start. Man, I'm a little outraged. This is obscene. Anybody enjoying small markets, small market basketball should also be up in arms about this. I like how they try to decentivize tanking, but I just don't think the way that they've created the draft lottery is the way to go about. I mean, the Spurs have picked 3 years in a row in the top 3. And mind you, I don't think the Spurs are the worst offenders here. They've been pretty bad at a couple points. But man, seeing Philly jump up, maybe I'm a little salty about that. Seeing the Mavs jump up as opposed to the Bulls, which is crazy. I mean, it's a little bit frustrating. I think Dallas deserves to be able to get a good pick, not this year, but when they're actually bad. It's just Washington, Utah. How else? Who are they going to sign? How else are they going to get their talent? Like they're
Exactly.
not. Washington rolled out rookies and sophomores all year this year, hoping they get their guy next year and actually be able to build a team. They're doing it right. They're not even tanking. They just suck. What are they supposed to do? I think this is going to be an issue that should come up. And I personally, maybe it wasn't like blatant corruption, but man, it looks really bad that you trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers for no reason. Come on, no reason. Those were all BS reasons Nico Harrison was spouting on. And then you get the number 1 pick. And last time that happened, AD to New Orleans, or from New Orleans to the Lakers. What happens?
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans gets the number 1 pick. It gets Zion. So, like, I don't like this trend. That's all I'm saying. And I think that there were a couple teams that needed those top 4 picks, and they should be guaranteed those top 4 picks. From there, like 5 through 14, we can do a way to draft. But man, those worst teams in the league, they got to get something. They got to get something because we're seeing more parity, in my opinion, in the NBA, and it's getting to the point where, man, these teams are really going to fall behind if they don't draft their guys soon. Missing out a good product in every NBA franchise here.
Go ahead, Rob.
I agree. Something's got to happen with the lottery. Like, I understand why you have it, 'cause you want to discourage tanking, but when stuff like this is happening, I mean, the 3 or 4 best teams, or the 3 or 4 teams that have the best odds, all fell out of the top 4. How does that even happen? And then for the top of your draft order to be Dallas, San Antonio, and Philly, it looks very suspect, man. It looks very suspect. And I don't understand why they can't put the draft lottery on television. Like, why can we not see the process happening? If they claim that it's not rigged, then why don't you televise it? It makes zero sense. I think
Yeah, I don't even
I don't know.
understand how this shit works at this point. They just pick a number
You
or
cannot
the ping
convince me.
pong ball comes up.
You can't convince me that this just happened coincidentally, bro. Adam
But
Silver made the call.
like Josh was saying, those teams like Utah, Washington, no player is going to be like, yeah, let me go sign with that team, that bum ass team. Let me go live my life in over there and just suck. Yeah, but you got a generational talent, Cooper Flag, that will literally propel your franchise 2, 3 levels. They're probably a winning team the next year if you get Cooper Flag. Now you get to pair him. Obviously, Dallas has already said that they're going to pick him. You put him with Kyrie. You put him with AD, Gafford, Lively. Cooper's going to fit right in. That team's already freaking stacked. They're going to be on pace to be one of the best teams in the West next year. I don't think that Cooper's going to need that much time to develop in the NBA because he's already been playing with Team USA guys last summer. He's been the best player coming out of his class his whole life. So this guy's ready and poised. I mean, obviously he missed that shot in the Final Four, but that guy's poised for the NBA and to be one of the best players in the league.
Not only was he the best player in his class, but he actually graduated a year early and was still the best player in his class
Right.
with guys that are a year older than him. Flag is the next
Insane.
Tyler Hansborough. That's crazy, bro.
Well, maybe we'll get D Bansa
Really,
from BYU next year if the lottery's just that rigged. We'll just tank and we'll get the number 1 pick next year.
I mean, yeah, with Tatum's Achilles out, seeing the way
Don't worry,
Adam Silver loves his big market teams. I mean, give us something. Come on now. Tatum's out.
Dubs got their number 2 pick back in
You
the
can
day. I don't see why you guys can't.
if you can just go
I agree.
ahead, if you can just go ahead and give the Mavericks the number 1 pick after, like, come on, man. There's no way you can look at this and say it's not at least sketchy.
No. Or just
They traded
objectively
Luca
bad.
to the Lakers. They traded Luca to the Lakers to get virtually nothing. No disrespect to AD, but to only get 1 first-round pick is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 months later, they magically get the number 1 pick in the draft. Yeah, okay. It's crazy.
I didn't want to see Cooper rot in Washington. I wanted him to be able to like go to a team that he was going to be able to excel. So I like that part of it. I just did not want him to go to Dallas.
I didn't think he would rot anywhere. I honestly think he could. He's like that transformative of a player. Um, I think
You just
the
don't
young.
want him to go to an organization that's not going to build around him and not going to build him for success. But
That's what I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say. I think every organization would be like, "Whoa, we got Cooper Flag." I mean, is the first American star since.
Yeah, I feel like when you're that good of a prospect, it really doesn't matter where you go. You can
Yeah.
transform like any team. And you look at the last couple years, the Spurs, even though the Spurs did have pieces before that, but Wemby comes along and they look way better, at least in the minutes that he's playing. Obviously, he hasn't played many minutes. He's only playing, what, 30 minutes a game, if that, so far in his career. And then he was injured half of this year. If you look before that, you look at the Magic. The Magic were horrible for a decade straight. They get
Mm-hmm.
Paulo, and all of a sudden their fortunes change because he's just that good of a prospect. So I think Cooper Flag, if he's as good as advertised, which I think he is, it doesn't really matter where he would have went. But obviously, the NBA made sure that he went to Dallas. So here we are. And as for the
I thought
draft lottery, I don't know what you do with it. Like you said, you could make it so that the first four picks are guaranteed and then everything else is the lottery. Or you could do it the other way around. Make it that the 5 through 14 are locked and then just do the lottery between the four worst teams.
yeah, I like that option.
There should never be a scenario where like the 10th worst team is getting the number one pick,
I think
especially
the
when they have
W.
two superstars on their team already.
I think the WNBA accounts for the previous 2 years in their like draft position as well when they
Interesting.
account for draft odds. So maybe if the NBA could maybe take something from that. So for example, like uh, San Antonio's odds would still be pretty damn good because they have been in among the worst records the last couple seasons too. So they would have been one of those teams that would have still been up there, but Washington would have been up there, Utah would have been up there, um, and Philly and Dallas probably would not have been.
Charlotte
So
too.
yeah, yeah. So
Cooper Flag to the Capitol, Cooper Flag to Washington, I think would have been perfect.
yeah, they have the guys. Bob Carrington doesn't look terrible. Uh, Keyshawn Johnson, or oh god, now I'm messing it up. But George, there we go. Man, they're solid players. They're not great. Like they were losing a hell of a lot last season, but it was to me it looked like the Thunder season like 3 years ago where they were keeping some games close and there were some dogfights and you were seeing that growth. I was interested to see how this Washington team's going to look next year, especially with a better player. Unfortunately, it won't be somebody of the caliber of Flag, but it'll still be interesting to see if they definitely won't have a Pistons like turnaround, but they'll look better. I'm confident.
Definitely. And if you do think that the draft lottery process was rigged or manipulated, whatever you want to call it, then I think that also ties back to the NBA just being horrible at marketing their game.
That's a failure. Like
Don't
those
market the
guys
small
are.
market teams. Like send Cooper Flag to Washington
Then you have a competitive team in Washington
or send
too,
him to Utah, but you're going
in
to
the
send him
whole
to a team
DC.
that's already been good.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to think, if you're Adam Silver, you want him to be in a market that they're going to be on TV. I couldn't tell you the last Utah Jazz or Washington Wizards game that I turned on my TV, to be honest. I don't even think I've seen him on primetime in years.
That could change.
But look at the NFL. The NFL does a great job of
Hmm.
marketing their small market teams. The face of the
MLB.
league in the NFL plays in Kansas City.
Right.
Like, come on,
You're totally right.
just for example.
All right, last thing in the NBA, and then we'll go to our rookies of the year. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Given his first sense that he wants to leave Milwaukee, guy who's been there for won a championship, been there for a decade plus, and now is open to moving teams. What teams do we like? What builds or what teams do we think can build around him or make a move? I think it's Houston. I think
Yeah.
Houston is right there on the helm of being one of the best teams in the West, and getting Giannis and trading him for Jalen Green, who's been killing them, and hopefully they keep Sengun, which they probably will. But you get rid of Jabari Smith and you give them some guys. I don't know. Where do you guys see him landing?
Giannis Antetokounmpo, you are a Texan, buddy. It does not matter where in Texas he's going to go. I think he's going to be in Texas. Houston, San Antonio, those are kind of who they were saying the front runners were anyway. Windhorse, I think, was suggesting Dallas even for that number 1 pick, for that Cooper Cup pick. Maybe, man, and I like it with all the teams. Giannis with Kyrie and AD, I think you actually do have a team in Dallas, though. The fans deserve that. Nothing about that organization deserves that. It makes me upset. Houston, though, like you said, absolutely. Jalen Green. If I were them, though, I would hold on to Jabari for that Tari Bari wing combo. Insane defense. But man, like you said, Jalen Green, absolutely. It just kind of depends on how the Bucks value him, I think, and what kind of picks they're willing to throw in there as well. San Antonio obviously has a Devin Vassell plus whatever else will get you what you need, I think, in that situation. Plus the number 2 pick now, they can just throw that at them too.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all the ammo they need. Otherwise, man, your Celtics, that's like the only thing I could see, but coming out of left field, like I don't see anybody else making a huge move or having the assets that Milwaukee's going to want against these Texas teams.
Yeah, you got to think it's Giannis. You're going to get a haul for him
Yeah.
for sure. Rob, give me your take.
I like all of those Texas teams, like Josh said. All 3 of those teams sound like good destinations for Giannis. Um, Obviously, he's been linked to the Warriors for a little while, but with them getting trading for Jimmy and stuff, other than that, they really don't have any assets
Right.
that they could give up for Giannis, especially if you have to match the contracts. I don't think that would even be possible.
Mm-hmm.
But like Josh said, I mean, depending on what the Celtics want to do, depending on what direction they want to go in, I think we can give them a better package than any other team. We can easily give them the best player that they would get in a trade back. But, you know, I don't want to give up my guy like that.
But Milwaukee is, uh, they have Damian Lillard. They can't really move off Damian Lillard. They got to pay him. He's going to be out for the year next year. Can't really
Mm-hmm.
move off of him. So you're kind of stuck with Dame and that fat contract. And are you going to be on that Dame timeline, or are you going to just blow it up? That's why I think San Antonio is a good option with that number 2 pick. You basically can get Harper or whoever you want with that second pick. But they're going to need a haul. They're going to need to change their whole organization. They're going to have to blow it up and start brand new. There's no way that they can just try to get a star. That's why I don't think Boston works for us or works for them, because that's just a whole different timeline than what they're going to be on. They need to start brand new. They need to rebuild from the jump. And but yeah, that team is it's crazy. We're not going to see that Heat, Celtics, and Bucks always in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was like always a time that we would always face those guys for about 3-4 years. It's insane.
So, I mean, it's been
That's
reported
just you,
that Dallas won't trade the number 1 pick.
right?
But if Milwaukee calls you and says, hey, we're interested in your number 1 pick, do you want Giannis? There's absolutely no way you say no to Giannis. I don't care who the
No.
prospect is. But
I don't know, man.
I think San Antonio and Dallas.
Go ahead.
I think San Antonio and Dallas are probably the most likely outcomes. Because, like you said, I mean, everybody on Boston won't really fit their timeline. I mean, if they're
Hmm.
just going to blow it up anyway, Dame's getting old. He's not going to play next year. Even if he comes back next year, it'll be late in the season, and they're not a really good team. So if Giannis isn't on the team, they're definitely not making the playoffs next year. I
Right.
think if he's on the team, he could carry them there, but I don't really know what direction Milwaukee wants to go in. They could just try to retool and stay competitive, but like you said, they should probably just start over, start from scratch.
I like where Gene's going with this. There's no way they pay AD 60 million, Kyrie 40 million, and Giannis 60 million all on one team in Dallas. There's no way. You got to
I
have
don't
that
think.
start. Go ahead, Josh.
I apologize, man. I just don't think it's the money that they're worried about. I think they're worried about this damn casino that they want to build in there. And that's literally all I think this ownership cares about is the casino and their stadium. Nothing about the Dallas Mavericks matters to them. So I think all of that's going to be irrelevant. I think they will either spin to just make people happy, or they'll do the opposite and they'll Oakland this situation where they're going to make their fans livid. They're going to go up to that draft, keep that number one pick, and pick somebody that's not Cooper Flag. Like we're going to see something like that, or I think we'll see a team that would be willing to trade Cooper Flag for Giannis and just go all in. But I don't know. Who's to say? It's like I said, I think it's all going to be driven by this casino, at least with the Mavericks situation. Sad to see, but
I'm not going to be sad seeing Milwaukee fail, to be honest. I'm glad to see their downfall.
Definitely.
All right, Rob, we're going to talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers before we talk about the rookies of the year, trading your boy George Pickens for a bag of potato chips. Actually, they got a third rounder. That's not terrible. But no, we never saw DK and George Pickens together, the crash out wide receiver duo. But give me your take on your boys. What's going on?
I don't have much words left for this team. All they do is disappoint me. 9-8, 10-7, 9-8, 10-7, losing the first round, missed the playoffs by one game. You keep cycling through offensive coordinators and not head coaches yet, even though I think we should have long moved on from Mike Tomlin. But you keep filing through your coordinators. The team looks the exact same. You change the personnel, the team looks the exact same. Like
So are
I don't
Eugene.
even know I don't know what you do. I don't even know what the Steelers are trying to do, first of all. Because I don't even think their draft made sense. We needed O line, we needed a quarterback, maybe defensive back, and you go for a defensive lineman. It makes zero sense to me. We trade DK Metcalf, which I was excited for. Where we trade for DK Metcalf, which I was excited for. Then we put DK and George Pickens together. But then you go ahead and trade George Pickens, which I don't even understand. If you're gonna get DK and trade George Pickens, you might as well just keep Pickens and not even get DK. Because now you're paying DK $30 million a year. And he's aging.
Exactly.
So you basically get rid of a younger star receiver to get an older star receiver that's on a massive contract. The whole time you still don't even have a quarterback that can throw to these guys. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. We could get a new quarterback, we could get a new offensive coordinator, we can get a new everything, and the team's going to look exactly the same. Fire Mike Tomlin. I've been saying it for years. No matter what moves we've made, the team has looked the exact same. The offensive system has not changed. The defensive schemes have not changed. I don't understand how you could have so much talent on defense, but you're still getting gashed in the passing game and in the running game. The only good thing we have going for us is Chris Boswell.
Yeah, he's legit.
Pickens is not a star. Get the hell out of here, Gene. Everybody knows Pickens is a star, bro.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another mediocre year for them. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm going to say maybe, but do we think Pickens even really moves the needle for Dallas? Because I don't. I don't think that makes. I think it makes a difference, but it's like you already got CD. Like if you can't succeed with CD, I don't know, man. Like I just think the Mavs. I just think the Cowboys just have way too much going on with their organization. They just got to move on from Dak and quit whatever this is. It hasn't worked in the years past. I don't know why they think adding Piggins is just gonna magically change what this Dallas team looks like. Because they hardly got any better in comparison to the Commanders and, well, I guess the Eagles didn't really need to get better. And then the Giants don't matter in their division. But if I'm looking at them versus the Commanders, I'm still taking the Commanders every day just by QB talent alone.
I think the Cowboys have always had that type of big play X receiver out there out wide. You think of like Des Bryant, Miles Austin, Michael Gallup. Like I think he's going to fit in that offense very well. And for him just to be a wide receiver too, and to be able to stop teams from just loading up on CD in the slot, I think it'll help them. But yeah, like you're saying, they're not going to be anything better than Washington or the Eagles. You move the needle a little bit, but this team is still not good on paper. They still need a running back. I couldn't even tell you if they're going to roll out Ezekiel Elliott next year or who else is going to be there. But yeah, that team is just it's sad. So is Pittsburgh. They don't even have a quarterback right now. I don't know if who's going to be running that offense if Aaron Rodgers might change his mind that he wants to play in Pittsburgh or if they're just going to run out Mason Rudolph. But yeah, it's not looking good for both those teams. All right, last
As
segment.
much as I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys are going to be a lot better than you guys are giving them credit for.
You think?
I'd be shocked.
Yeah. I think their offense will be decent. Dak Prescott's going to come back. I'm not even a believer in Dak Prescott, but he's going to give you numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put points on the board. Like they're going to be a respectable team. They're going to get back to the playoffs, and then they're going to flame out early,
As they always do.
and then they're going to repeat. That's what the Cowboys do. And then next year they'll be saying this is our year again.
Rinse and repeat, just like your Pittsburgh Steelers. Same shit
But
every year.
they're probably in a better situation than we're in right now. So
They definitely are. All right, rookies of the week. This is our segment we'll be doing weekly where we talk about the hottest rookies, whether it's MLB, NBA, all sports across all of it. All right, let me hear yours. We'll start with whoever. Rob, Josh.
I would say I'll go ahead, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go with that boy Jacob Wilson from the Athletics here. He's been playing magnificent this season. We got a batting average of 363 right now. He's got an OPS of 902. This is as a rookie, and the kid, I mean, he's, in my opinion, I gave it to him because he's finally walking. But the kid just sees everything. He rakes, man. He's hitting everything. He's playing. He's pretty good short. I mean, it's a good look for the Ace. They got him. They got Soderstrom doing well. They brought up Nick Kurtz. They've got guys who can really hit the ball, especially in that minor league part. I hate this for the Oakland. Well, it's not Oakland anymore. It's just the A's. Sadly, I hate that for the franchise, but I love it for the fans. They deserve something. Lawrence Butler too. Can't gloss over him. But these guys, they're stepping up, and I think Jacob Wilson's a humongous part of that. He's been absolutely hitting the ball. It's ridiculous if you look at his baseball savant, some of his hitting stats, like he's one of the worst in terms of walk percentage, bat speed, but everywhere else, I mean, squaring up to the ball, lift rate, X batting average, all that, batting run value, he's magnificent. He's going to be very impactful going forward.
All right, Rob, let me hear yours.
I agree with everything Josh said. Jake Wilson has been sensational. I got to go with my guy, Jason Dominguez. He had a bit of a slow start to the year. You can shake your head all you want. The Martian's coming. Slow start to the year, but he's been heating up. And it all led to that monster 3-homer game that we all saw the other night, including the grand slam.
I
I
just
feel
saw him
like,
get kicked out of the game yesterday. That was it.
of
Keep going.
course, that's all you saw. But obviously, we saw the Martian come up 2 years ago. We saw him come up mid-season. He goes on a tear, gives the Yankees a little bit of a boost down the stretch in that season. And then he gets hurt after about, I think it was, 9 or 10 games, has the major elbow surgery, misses half of last season. And he came back. He never was really able to put it together. But now he's finally, he got a full training camp, full spring training and everything. And he's been able to play pretty much the whole season so far. So I think he's really starting to put it together. His glove has been all right. He's stolen a couple bases. He's drawing some walks. And now we're finally seeing some of that power again. We need the Martian. We need a big boost from him, especially until Stanton gets back.
For sure. All right, my guy is going to be the reigning AL Rookie of the Month, the guy in Boston, Christian Campbell, the guy that the team has needed, a young gun, guy who's just been going up to the plate. He's batting cleanup for us now in his rookie year. I mean, this guy sees pitches like you were saying, Josh, like Wilson does. This guy takes his walks, though. This guy's got on base the first 17 games of his career. And this guy I thought he won the game for us last night. Hitting Oppo, took one low, hit it Oppo, go up 2 runs against Detroit in extras. I'm thinking the game is over. And then Javi Baez makes the night even worse for me. I can't catch a break.
We need to speak on Javi Baez, too, because he is really, he came into the league hot, and then he's just been awful for a few years now, but he's finally starting to put it together. They moved him into the outfield. I don't know if it was just that, but he's really playing good baseball right now. And then
Yeah, he's
obviously
definitely turned
yesterday, the
around the
2-3 run.
series. Yeah, that was just a pain in my heart when I saw that ball go out. I was so upset. I thought Christian Campbell had his moment. Thought it was something that Boston fans could be excited about for the future. And we just got our hearts ripped out like we did the night before. But Javi Baez, I remember those years when he was on the Cubs, and I'm Puerto Rican, so I like me a little bit of Javi Baez. But yeah, putting him in center field really changed his career. You guys can touch on him a little bit.
He's a fun player to watch. I mean, he came into the league, a bunch of defensive highlights in the infield, of course. He was raking. And then that last year in Chicago, something just happened, and he hasn't been the same player since then. But now he's really starting to put it together again. I mean, I don't understand how he fell off in the first place, especially at such a young age. But I'm just glad to see him playing good baseball again, for sure. And the Tigers have been stellar.
They have been.
Yeah, you kind of saw that coming though last year. The Tigers had that late season surge to get into the playoffs, and then they pushed Cleveland to the brink before obviously losing the series. And now so far they've been the best team in the AL this year.
Yeah, they
That's
have.
off.
Yeah, he's been a large part of that. So shout out about Javi. It's good to see that he's on a franchise that'll really appreciate him. I was willing to ride it out he's letting them celebrate, appreciate doing that because, my goodness, I did not see this coming.
Keep putting
I don't
on
know
for
if
all
we
the
ever.
Javis out there. I appreciate it, man. Doing the
I
name
don't
well.
know if we ever see him. I don't know if we ever see him move back to the top half of the lineup
Probably not.
because right now he's been batting ninth pretty much all season. Even as he's gotten hot, he's still batting ninth.
Yeah.
But whatever it takes for him to keep playing good baseball, just leave him wherever he's at.
Yeah, they'll take it.
You don't want to mess up what you got, especially with the contract that they've been paying him the last couple years.
Yeah.
Probably still not the worst contract in the MLB,
Definitely not.
but his contract has been awful until now.
All right. Well, we'll call that a wrap on episode 2. Appreciate everybody that listened in. We'll have another episode for you on Monday next week. We had some technical difficulties this week. It was raining pretty bad on Monday, and our producer Gene, he shit the bed, so we had to move to Wednesday.
He's got to
But
upgrade that internet package.
yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
All right, we
sweet.
got more coming your way next week. Peace out. Thanks for listening.
Something's
Like
wrong
and
with you.
subscribe.
Right.
Do the
Really.
whole thing. See you guys
Thank
soon.
y'all for
Peace.
tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We'll catch you.